Hey guys, Storytime with Mr. Parker. And as you can see, you cannot see me today. I'm having a little bit of a bad hair day, so I decided I would do something a little bit different. So today is our last day for poetry. We did poetry all this week. Today I'm doing Jack Prelutsky from The New Kid on the Block, his poetry book. I've got 5 poems again today. The drawings are by James Stevenson, who's also a really great children's book author as well. I got a quote from Jack Prelutsky over there. Frankly, writing poetry for children is plain old fun, and I consider myself blessed to have such a delightful career. Children seem naturally drawn to poetry. It's some combination of the rhyme, rhythm, and the words themselves. We all need ways to express ourselves, and poetry is one of mine. So I hope that you're finding some ways to express yourselves as you're at home learning. And I'm going to show you how I express myself in some of the poems that I'm reading today. I decided to illustrate the poems with a slide in Google Slides. So we're going to start with The Carpenter Rages, and you might even be able to hear some carpenters outside of my window today. They're really making me rage because they're being so loud. So here we go. The carpenter rages, the carpenter rants, the carpenter raises a clamor. It's all on account of the carpenter ants who have eaten the carpenter's hammer. The carpenter bellows, the carpenter screams, the carpenter clenches his jaw, for the carpenter ants in well-organized teams have eaten the carpenter's saw. The carpenter sputters, the carpenter stews, the carpenter simmers and sizzles, for the carpenter ants working swiftly in crews have eaten the carpenter's chisels. The carpenter sits in a heap on the ground. The carpenter grows even madder, for the carpenter ants swarming up and around have eaten the carpenter's ladder. The carpenter suddenly leaps in the air. He rides in a furious dance, for those carpenter ants with incredible flair have eaten the carpenter's pants. Maybe there'll be some carpenter ants outside getting a hold of my carpenters. All right, so if you notice on my slide there, I'm going to go from simple to a little bit more intricate. We've just got a carpenter there with a house and some carpenter ants down at the bottom. And I just added a cool little face on there that was mad because the carpenter picture I found was not a mad face. Next up, Dainty Dotty Dee. There's no one as immaculate as Dainty Dotty Dee, who clearly is the cleanest that a human being can be. No sooner does she waken than she hoses down her bed, then she hurries to the kitchen and disinfects the bread. She spends the morning sweeping every inch of every room. When all the floors are spotless, Dotty polishes the broom. She mops the walls and ceilings, she scrubs beneath the rug, and should a bug meander by, she tidies up that bug. Dotty boils the phone and toaster. Dotty rinses the shampoo. She waxes the salami and she vacuums the stew. She dusts the cheese and crackers and she sponges down the pie. She lathers the spaghetti, then hangs it up to dry. Dotty scours the locks and keyholes and she soaps the bathroom scale. She launders every light bulb. She bathes the morning mail. But her oddest habit ever, and of this there is little doubt, is washing all the garbage before she throws it out. So a little story there. Mrs. Parker gets upset with me because sometimes I like to wash the dishes before I put them in the dishwasher. She's like, the dishwasher will do it. But sometimes I just don't trust that old dishwasher. All right, let's keep going. This one was just simple and plain. I've got a background on the floor for the floor there, and then Dotty in a washing machine in there. Next up, I've got an incredible headache, which I have had some headaches this week, and maybe you are feeling the same way too. It's screen headaches, so be careful not to spend too much time looking at those Chromebook screens and computer screens and iPad screens. Pull out a book every now and then and just read a book. Those pages will not give you a headache like a screen will. Here we go. I've got an incredible headache. My temples are throbbing with pain. It feels like a freight train with two locomotives is chugging about in my brain. I'm sure I can't stand it much longer. My skull's being squeezed in a vice as regiments march to the blaring of trumpets and thousands of tap dancing mice. My head's filled with horrible noises. There's a man mashing melons inside. Someone keeps drumming on bongos and plumbing as porpoises thrash in the tide. An elephant herd is stampeding. A volcano is blowing its top. And if I keep hitting my head with this hammer, I doubt that my headache will stop. All right, so in this slide, I've got Blue Ridge Bear right there on that computer, that laptop screen. I changed the image over there in the picture frame on the wall as well. So again, remembering how you can layer those images in a Google slide. All right, next up, I'm getting a little more intricate. I'm thankful. I illustrated one of the stanzas. Remember that when you have poetry, each little section of the poem is called a stanza. So here we go. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my baseball bat. I cracked it yesterday. I'm thankful for my checker set. I haven't learned to play. I'm thankful for my mittens. One is missing in the snow. I'm thankful for my hamsters. They escaped a month ago. I'm thankful for my basketball. It sprung another leak. I'm thankful for my parakeet. It bit me twice last week. I'm thankful for my bicycle. I crashed it into a tree. I'm thankful for my roller skates. I fell and scraped my knee. I'm thankful for my model plane. It's short a dozen parts. I'm thankful for my target game. I'm sure I'll find the darts. I'm thankful for my bathing suit. It came off in the river. I'm thankful for so many things, except, of course, for liver. So that one is really cool because you're thankful, but sometimes you're like, you're feeling not so thankful. But there's always something to be thankful for. All right, last one, the pièce de résistance. The last one is very detailed and intricate. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I challenge you guys to do the same thing. Find a poem, maybe one of Shel Silverstein's or maybe a Jack Prelutsky poem, and illustrate one of the stanzas or illustrate the whole poem. You could do it digitally, or you could do it paper and pencil, crayons, colored pencils, markers. Paint, have fun with it. All right, here we go. Today is very boring, but look at that picture. That doesn't look boring at all. I think this poem's being a little sarcastic. So let's see what it says. Today is very boring. It's a very boring day. There's nothing much to look at. There's nothing much to say. There's a peacock on my sneakers. There's a penguin on my head. There's a dormouse on my doorstep. I'm going back to bed. Today is very boring. It is boring through and through. There is absolutely nothing that I think I want to do. I see giants riding rhinos and an ogre with a sword. There's a dragon blowing smoke rings. Oh, I'm positively bored. Today is very boring. I can hardly help but yawn. There's a flying saucer landing in the middle of my lawn. A volcano just erupted less than half a mile away, and I think I felt an earthquake. It's a very boring day. Not really, is it? And look at that slide I've got up there with all the things that you heard in the poem. I've got a penguin on her head, a peacock sitting on some sneakers. That dragon is blowing some smoke. I had fun illustrating that. Back in the background, you can see that volcano erupting and that flying saucer starting to land. And then, of course, our ogre over here on the left with his sword in his hand. Oh, I rhymed and I didn't even know it. All right, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed the talent show. It was very fun to watch. And I hope you have fun illustrating some poems of your own.